Welcome to another episode of Butterfly Blackout. I'm your host, Emily, along with Jeff, the
Hello.
man,
Hello.
and Truth, our producer.
Always.
Jeff, real quick,
Yes.
don't you have a show of your own coming out? What's going on with that?
You're like the third person to ask me that. Like this week. I'm sitting there. I'm freeloading right now. I'm bouncing on you, Savage Kings. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
You
Well,
know.
ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday, and we want to say Happy Juneteenth, which was yesterday, because everybody is starting to celebrate Juneteenth. Yay! I mean, there were some black folks who were celebrating it for years. Tulsa, Oklahoma celebrates it annually, and now all of a sudden, everybody just woke up and decided, hey, we're going to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Now that we got on the ball, and we excited, what are we celebrating? Well, there are a lot of people that really don't know what they're celebrating. They're just copying and pasting. If you watch your social media, they're just sending messages along saying Happy Juneteenth, but they really don't understand what it means to celebrate. And then I was thinking, I'm not sure if I want to celebrate Juneteenth, because after we were freed, what happened next?
Nothing much. We didn't. Well, first of all, Juneteenth. We didn't find the rest. That's when the last of us found out we was
In Texas.
freed.
Let's be clear.
Right, in Texas. Right. It had
Everybody
to
else
slowly
knew,
work
but
its way.
Texas, they was being, given the okey doke
Yes.
trickerization, and then they found out, hey, we free, and we've been free for 2 years, and y'all was just using us.
Yes.
But we've always been used. But after Juneteenth, what happens?
That's a great question.
I mean, were we really free? I mean,
No.
I know in the North, they wanted us to be free because, hey, slavery is wrong. Like, what are you doing to people? You shouldn't do that. That's what they were saying. But then when we tried to get a job, they didn't want us there. When we tried to buy a house, they didn't want us to have a house. So here comes the Ku Klux Klan. They're going to burn crosses because they're tired of black folks. I'm confused. Now, you wanted to free us as slaves, but we couldn't be around you good old white folks. So what am I missing?
There you go.
But we're going to celebrate Juneteenth. I'm not trying to take away Juneteenth. I appreciate it. It's for our ancestors. But at the end of the day,
You're good.
all I can say is that I wish people would educate themselves and not have to just spread the news because other people are telling them to spread the news, because it comes off as fake. So you got to be careful. You have people that are educating themselves and they really understand what it means about Juneteenth, what Juneteenth means.
What it is, yes.
Then you have the others that are just saving face because they don't want that smoke. Okay? Yeah, Jeff.
Can we stop calling it Juneteenth?
No, Jeff, because Kamala Harris, you know what, boy?
Hold
You
on.
know what? Time out. Time out.
Nigga.
No,
I'm sitting
no,
there. You
no.
know,
Fist pump. Time out.
I be working, master boss.
No.
On the 17th.
Boy, you smart. You
I'm sitting
smart.
there like, come on, bro. What
Wait
is
for it.
this?
Wait for it. I got you, though. You ready? I got you, though.
That was so irritating. And then they were up there really saying it.
Stop it.
White, black, whatever. And then it's like, we want to give y'all a day off. I'm like,
Listen.
no.
Listen,
No.
you don't understand. I
I was
got
like,
you,
I
though.
appreciate a day off.
I got you. You ready?
But no.
You ready?
Go ahead. Go
Come
ahead.
on, 'cause it's
I
your
just had to
girl.
bring it up.
Your girl did it. Your girl did it. Kamala Harris, your girl. That's your girl, right? Okay. She said we introduced legislation
Yeah.
to recognize Juneteenth
Fucking Christ.
as a national holiday. June 19, 1865 marks the day all enslaved people learned of their emancipation. Without question, it should be recognized with the respect of a federal holiday.
All right, so are you happy with that or mad?
Oh, no, because he had mentioned he was tired of it being called Juneteenth.
Well, I understand
Why are we
that,
calling
but
it
to me,
Juneteenth?
it's like
okay with
we
it.
celebrate every Jewish freaking holiday
Yeah, but
under
we.
the freaking sun, but we don't celebrate any of the other ones. So I just...
Okay, so the chick you heard in the background, that's Erica.
We're gonna have to give her a mic because she's such a. I told you. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell you.
So here's the thing. If we're going to celebrate, if we're going to make, I don't know how to say this. Do I want to say if we want to celebrate or if we're going to make? If we're going to celebrate and make Juneteenth a national holiday, July 4th's got to go.
Wow. Well,
Well,
not just that,
no.
Christopher Columbus.
No, well, that's a whole nother ballpark. Don't tell the Italians because they'll fucking rope you.
Exactly. And
But-
Mario Cuomo, he doesn't want that. Come on now. Please.
Hold up, but that's two different things.
February,
Yeah.
Just say, and it's the shortest month.
28 days.
Exactly. So,
But when you talk about independence, that's independence from Britain. Or, whatever they call themselves. Kingdom, whatever the fuck it was. That's independence from them. Juneteenth, I don't even want to call it, no, the motherfucking 19th of June, 1864. That's what I'm calling it.
Jeff?
That is, I guess, Black Freedom Day.
I'm sorry, Jeff. July 4th is what again?
Independence of America.
From
The motherland, London, Britain, and oh my God.
But we're independent from the motherland in Britain.
Yeah.
Right.
And yet this is stolen land.
and you're
So what are we celebrating? I'm sorry.
Hey, that's the white man's rule. Finders keepers, I
Okay,
guess.
so
That's
like
how they
I
running
said-
it. Finders keepers.
And listen.
I get it. I get finders keepers.
So Juneteenth again was when the last remaining slaves in Texas found out that they were free.
Yes.
So because of the crimes of this country, it should be either or. I think everybody should be forced to celebrate Juneteenth and replace that crap with removing.
You can't.
Yes, you can. What do you mean you can't?
because
What you mean?
it's specifically designated to the Negroes not being slaves anymore.
Okay. Yes.
But the white man was always free when they came here. You get what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
So
the white men that came here and stole the land from
Right.
who?
from the Native Americans.
Okay, so what are we celebrating? We're celebrating them stealing, them being free from their
Well, no.
oppressor to only oppress black people.
That's
Again,
July
so
4th.
are we celebrating? We can't celebrate both. It's one or the other.
Everybody gotta have their own day. Cause
No.
check it out. 'Cause everybody
No.
gotta have their own day.
Because
Everybody
while we
gotta
were
have their own
slaves,
day.
while our ancestors were slaves,
Yeah.
we were forced to still celebrate what?
We didn't celebrate July 4th. We was in the motherfucking back getting raped or working overtime. Well, free
But
time.
some of our
Working-
slaves, if
we
you
need
ever
some
watch
extra
Alex,
celebrating.
hold on, if you ever watch Alex Haley's Queen, you know some of the slaves they got to watch fireworks. I mean,
From the
let's
chains
take it.
and the back and
But
if
here-
you remember the what is it, the ensemble, the fucking Pledge of Allegiance, how the original
Oh,
part that
the,
they took out.
yeah,
what
yeah.
am I thinking?
Here's the thing.
I get you.
Here's the thing.
I'm with you.
Don't forget that you had some property owners who were actually good to their slaves.
And you have black slave owners.
Okay.
I'm
Say that
with
again,
you.
'cause
I'm
sometimes
with-
people forget
Hold
that
on,
crap.
Hold on.
Yes.
Did
They
she
were
say
actually
good?
good to their slaves.
So
No,
so we
there
should bring
were-
black
When
slavery.
I say good, there was some that actually treated them because as property they
Okay,
treated
they're
the property
okay.
well.
No.
You
okay.
know, you can't. That's an
You're
oxymoron.
not
Go
treating
ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
But
There
what it
weren't?
is they didn't beat their slaves maybe as much as
So that would be
you know,
considered
Conrad
treating them
around
well.
the corner.
No.
But they still forced their slaves to work for free.
But here's the thing. But if you go back in history, they will say we treat our slaves well. I mean, you gotta. It's how it works.
What shit is that?
Other states have a different history that is taught to them than we do up north.
Exactly.
It's a fact. So, yeah, it's a complicated subject, but it's the scary thing
It's
is
not
that we don't
complicated.
know. We don't know what they're telling their youth.
Okay, it's not complicated at all. It's either we're gonna celebrate Juneteenth as a nation,
June 19th. Yes.
but we have to remove July 4th. You cannot celebrate being free from your oppressor when you still oppress black people.
How about
So-
how
go
about
ahead.
this? How about this? How about we take every culture and we give them 1 to 2 3 days a year that forces everyone to celebrate it. I
Don't we
think
do that
would
already?
No, we don't, because Jewish people got like 5,000 fucking days.
They do. And
But-
if you go to a school with Jewish kids, yeah.
That's
So,
because
well,
but
my-
their calendar.
My thing is this: if we're talking about true togetherness, and we're talking about everyone being treated fairly and equally, we take every single religion that populates this United States,
Okay.
and we give them 1, 2, 3. I don't care what it is, but you give them their day
How about no one has a day?
to be celebrated.
I get it.
Instead of one person have one day, a couple of hours or whatever situation may be, we pick 1 day, 2 days, we all vote, whatever it is, and everyone, Italians, you want a couple of days or
Now-
whatever it
If
is.
you want, Emily, if you want July 4th removed, every holiday needs to be removed.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
But no,
I'm
that's
saying
not
that.
it.
That's my
What I'm
opinion.
saying, my
That's my opinion.
that's
I
great.
think-
That's your opinion. But the fact is that you have Juneteenth when the last remaining slaves found out that they were free.
Right.
Right.
You cannot say we're celebrating July 4th, a day where Americans were freed from their oppressors, if black folks were still being oppressed.
Well, you got to remember at
Hold
this
up.
time, black people was not considered human
Americans.
beings.
You got it. And you even said this on your show previously with the Voters Act. We are not Americans against
It's
and
still in the
immigrants.
Constitution.
It's still there.
still in the
Biden just
Constitution.
voted for us to keep getting the
Yeah.
rights to
So
vote.
25 years.
13th
So,
Amendment.
right, right.
Part of
So
the 13th Amendment, because what they've been doing instead of having slaves is putting you in jail.
So here's the thing.
Hold
That's
on, go ahead,
another
Emily.
thing we have to talk about.
Go ahead.
So if you can sign a bill saying, oh, well, black people can vote, it should just be made a law that anybody that's American can vote. In fact, if you're going to go a step further, you should allow people that are in prison to vote, especially the ones that did not commit murder. If you committed a murder, then you don't have a right to vote. But if you didn't commit a murder and say you robbed and you stole, you did whatever you did, you stole drugs, you should still be able to have a voice. You know why? Because your vote matters. Because guess what? You're in prison.
That
And
goes.
anything that happens outside affects you inside, especially if you're still trying to take care of your family who's on the outside.
That goes by state. I don't mean to cut you off, but the prison thing goes by state. There are 3 states that would allow convicts to vote. That when you come out, most of the states you lose your rights. But here goes with a tricky thing.
If you're a felon, yeah.
If you're a felon, yeah. Here goes the tricky thing. You have state law to federal law. Federal only interjects when something is crossing the lines or affects the main country. Other than that, state law takes hold.
Well, you need to
So
explain that to a lot of our black folks because, see, they blame Trump for everything, and
They
they're
know
asking
that.
Trump to do so much, and they fail to realize a lot of the issues and policies are on a state level. It's got nothing to do with the federal government. But let's move on.
go ahead.
Shop black owned. Now that we're Black Lives Matter and everybody's so-called woke, now we're gonna shop black owned. Now you have it where people shop. I think it's like Saturdays where it's like shop small business, right?
Oh,
I
it's
have
small
the
business.
calendar.
Yeah, it's
I
something
do
like
have
that.
the calendar.
Okay, I'm gonna get to you in a second. So here's the thing: I made a pledge to myself that I was going to shop black owned because I wanted to give back. This before
Good luck.
COVID-19. I wanted to
Okay.
give back to my own people, and I also wanted to try out other black-owned spots. But see, in the black community, we have issues.
Oh Lord.
We try to support, but then business owners don't come correct. So then we say, screw you, we're going to move on. Like, say you make a hair appointment. And then the hairdresser or stylist, she has an app, but if she moves your appointment or she cancels your appointment because she's not available.
Mhm.
Lady, I try to give you my service. You told me to go on the app. The app shows your dates of availability. Now, I pick a date. Now, all of a sudden, you're not available. Which is it? What do you want me to do? Now, you pissing me off. Now, I'm going to have to go someplace else. So, now that we're all woke and we're doing Black Lives Matter, we want to support our black businesses. Again, but the black businesses have to come correct. Case in point, I went on Instagram. I followed this, I guess it's like a restaurant, and I was interested in their menu. I
Okay.
went to the menu. All you could order is breakfast. You can't order the lunch. So I did this around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I did was I sent them a message. Let me finish. I sent them a message. Why are you laughing?
It don't even make sense. It was how you get breakfast all day. He said, this shit ain't
So I went.
7 o'clock. You want waffles? Fuck out of here.
I went and I sent them a message because I wanted to know how I can order the lunch because only the breakfast has the pricing where you can click and select the breakfast
Okay.
to pay. The lunch, however, had nothing. So I'm like, well, how do I order the lunch? Nobody got back to me. Again, this is your business. You're a small business. You're not franchised. So you need all the patron
Yes.
you can get. So I'm trying to help you, and I'm interested. You have some good-looking food. But now I'm turned off because I sent you a message and nobody got back to me. You don't have anybody checking your messages, but then again, you're posting all these pictures. You have to see that somebody contacted you. I saw somebody else write, well, how do I get this and how do I get that? I don't see you responding. Black people, we have to do better. If you want people to come and support you, you as a business owner have to do better.
Yes.
You can't get mad when people don't want to come to your store, don't want to come to your restaurant, don't want to support you. And it's not because you're black. It's because you're not a good business person. That's the only thing. People would come. But I ain't got time for all that. But there is a list, apparently, of shopping black-owned products. But I just want to say I've been doing it. I replaced all my skincare products with black-owned. Why? Because I support them, and they're small businesses. But I love their products. And I continue to use their products. Now, everything is not for everybody. Okay? That's important to note.
Meaning what? Meaning with that same sentence. Meaning what? What do you mean? So like those products aren't for
you can have 5 skincare
non-black
product
people?
lines that are all black owned. It
Okay.
doesn't work for everybody. So you
Okay.
kind of have to constantly, just like when you buy bigger brands, it's not for everybody. Like when you say shampoo, every shampoo is not meant for everybody. You have to
Facts.
constantly search.
Facts.
A lot
Gotcha,
of
gotcha.
these black businesses, especially with skincare, have natural lines where they have all natural products. But not everything works for everybody. That doesn't mean that you stop looking. You keep looking. And for me, I found something that was very comfortable for me, and I love the product. Plus, the owner, she listened to me, and she ended up creating a body oil, which replaced me having to use body oil, and I use hers, and I love it. And I'm happy because now she's making more money. And guess what? People love the body oil. Me, I'm not a person that tries to take credit. I'm like, if I see something I like, I'm going to give you, advice and give you some business, inspiration.
Proper
Right,
business
right.
etiquette, which is missing in the black
Right.
community.
And you know what? I don't want credit for it. If it helps you make money, which I knew that body oil would, girl, we in business because 1, I love your product. 2, I get what I asked for. So we all good.
Right.
But yeah, Truth, go ahead. What's your
Well, what
list?
it is in the black community, we don't take proper, what's the word I'm looking for? Proper criticism properly. You wonder
Okay.
why all these other organizations ask you to take a survey because they dead serious. They want your feedback. They want to know how they can get you to come back to the store to continue to spend your money. Where as far as that site that you had there, those obviously those individuals, lunch, I'm gonna laugh about that shit all day. But yeah, I'm sorry. But the fact that
If you couldn't click on it,
you
goddamn
had
it.
that, but you didn't follow the proper steps. See, the issue is a lot of these businesses aren't businesses, they're hobbies.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm saying that is
Hold on one
because,
second.
unfortunately, a lot of people of color don't know about LLC.
That too.
And then you're not taking the proper steps that you need to take to make sure your website is right, your social media is right. You have to dot your I's, you have to cross your T's. And before you want to do a business, you have to understand you have to spend money to make money.
We got to protect you at all
I just wanna
costs.
say one
Hold on,
thing.
hold on.
That was Bible right there.
I just bought an enamel pin from Etsy, and it was from a black-owned business. Okay? Now, I just tagged the business in it because I absolutely love the pin. She sent me a 20% off coupon when I never knew that was even, I wasn't asking for that. So, you can't speak for the vast majority. And I
Right.
just want to say one more thing. I, as a bigger white girl, I like shopping black business because black people make realistic clothing for full-figured women.
The body type, yes.
Yeah, and again, you can't put it all under one umbrella. 'Cause
Okay, so here's some black-owned products that I think we could highlight. There's Freedom Bathroom Tissue, Toilet Tissue. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know about them.
Do we have their website or any information we can send people to them?
That's the interesting part. I looked
What's the
them
interesting
up, but I think it's freedom.com.
Okay.
It wasn't easy to find. There's Garner's
People.
Garden Antibacterial Mouthwash. Why are you laughing?
there's gold.
Go ahead.
No, because we're talking about dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Emily.
You have to be, if you want people to shop at your shop,
Right.
to go on your site, you have to be accessible. And the only way to be accessible is to have all those things that you need
He just said
to
that
make
before.
sure people can get in touch with you.
And
See
two,
the Amazon commercials, though?
Hold on real quick.
Black-owned businesses.
don't fuck with nobody on Instagram. And I'm gonna be honest. You
Well,
told me
that-
two places.
You may say that, but there are a lot of companies you do find from, like the skincare line I found on Instagram.
Okay.
And like she's amazing because
Does she
every
only-
time you shop,
I'm not
you get
knocking her.
coupons and stuff like that. I mean, she's amazing. Plus, I told her I loved her products, and like I said, she listens to me.
So out of
and now
all
she's
your
more money.
instances with Instagram and black-owned business, is she 80? Is it 80% in the good favors of hers, or do you have more of the I sent you 2 DMs and you haven't even hit me with
No,
or whatever?
she
that?
answers everything. I mean, she's
That's
a
her.
Wonder
But I'm
Woman.
saying all your
Proper
experiences.
business
Me
etiquette.
personally, I won't shop if Pepsi got something on Instagram because I know it's a big place for scam. Just like I was with Facebook. It's just a business purpose. Now,
Well, no, I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
She, but aside from Instagram, she has a website.
okay, so
There
now
we go, right.
now we doing
I'm
that.
sorry, yes.
So when you compare it to the food guy who was bad, you get what I'm saying? Does he have his own?
She's got it on point.
Does he
Like,
have
she's,
it?
No. And she's
That's all I'm
rebranding.
saying.
On top of all this, she's rebranding.
Right.
So I appreciate it because like when she launched the body oil because she said it was coming because I gave her that idea. Listen, it took off and then to see the reviews on the body oil and how people were loving it, I was like, girl, bye. Listen, what else you need? And I don't even need nothing back because it helps
Well,
me
that's
too. 'cause
see,
I
that's
get
the
to shop.
problem there. You should have got something back.
No, because I'm at that
No,
person.
there- no,
Like,
no.
here's the
And
thing.
this is the
I
difference
want us
between-
to succeed.
Right, but this is the difference between white businesses and black businesses. This is why white businesses continue to flourish and deal with each other because they include everybody. Whereas as far as black businesses, it's me fi me. So you gave that young lady an idea that helped her make more money. She should have either named it after you or, hey, I'll give you 2, 3, 4, 5% of anything that is purchased for this item that you helped me create. That's
It was an
proper
idea.
business.
I don't think I helped her
No,
create it. It
no,
was
you
an
did
idea.
because she didn't have it till you said something. Even though she may have had all this knowledge in the world, she did not do it until you brought it to her attention. So I'm saying it's proper business stuff,
Okay.
and you're very intelligent. You have a lot of great ideas. So that's a potential business platform that you two can branch off something differently. But again, like I said, we don't think like the other culture thinks when it comes to business.
You know what? But I got you because on my way here, I was thinking of something, and I think it's gonna be big. But
Cool.
we'll talk about that.
We'll
off
go down your
camera.
Keep it
list.
to yourself.
So, but these are companies that I don't think advertise.
Okay.
Because I didn't know about them, and I'm sorry that I don't know about them.
When they
Like I
advertise
said,
it, you just haven't heard it from them.
Freedom bathroom toilet tissue,
Okay.
Garner's Garden antibacterial mouthwash, True detergent, and
I heard it true.
I've heard it true.
I
True's
heard it
out
true.
there.
I heard it true.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
That's
mean,
all you
she-
had?
Well, that's the
Well,
that.
these are the ones that came to my
Oh,
attention.
yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You,
That I
like
didn't know
like
about.
Jeff said, you go online, and yes, there are a lot of scams, but there are a lot of individuals out there that do have good businesses. Like
Yes.
like Sin. Sin has her
Yeah.
own charms and everything. She's an LLC. She has a website. She puts every penny of her money into her business to
Yes.
create more, broaden her horizon
Right.
and get her name out there. Some people think just because I got 17 of these and I want to get rid of them,
Right.
I'm gonna start.
Right.
Air conditioners are us, and that's an actual business. And then you wonder why the IRS come knocking at your door a couple of years later.
Okay, let's switch gears. DACA win. This is a big deal.
Ooh.
All right. So, the Supreme Court ruled to keep the deferred. This is what DACA means.
Yes.
Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program alive after an attempt by the Trump administration to rescind it.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people think that Trump just wants to go ahead and deport people. And according to a lot of other DACA designees, they're saying that's not the case. It's more about coming to a solution for DACA, period. Okay, DACA can stay in the country, but what are we going to do with DACA? I mean, where do we go from here? So they still don't have a status. They still don't know what tomorrow holds for them. But they know that they can't be deported, but that's not enough. That's what some people are saying, right? So President Obama made a statement saying, "We may look different and come from everywhere, but what makes us American are our ideals. We may look different and come from everywhere." But here's the thing. Again, people that associate themselves with ADOS, African descendants of slaves, don't know where they came from. You got to understand, DACA, they know where they came from. Okay? Immigrants know where they've been and where they came from. Us black folks that call ourselves American, that did not immigrate to this country legally, don't know where we were supposed to be. We don't know that. We're not the same. We're not happy. We're not the same. I don't know what my heritage is. I don't even know if I was supposed... Listen, for all I know, I should have been a queen. I could have been a princess in line ready to take the throne. Y'all took that from me, okay? All right? What if my husband was supposed to be some type of Zulu god? Okay? Y'all took that from me. What if I was supposed to have like 15 kids by now? I had a whole little tribe. Y'all took that from me. Look at my skin. How do I know this is what I was really supposed to look like? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm mixed with a whole lot, but that's because in my bloodline, there were people enslaved and they were raped. Okay? My grandmother, if I showed you a picture, she could pass for white. Well, you want to have that conversation? All right? And she didn't have brown eyes. I'll leave that alone. Okay? Beautiful woman. Her mother was a beautiful woman.
My mom got straight hair. I hear you.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
But that's the thing. We don't know.
But
so when you
how
make
we
a
relating it to
statement-
DACA? Go back, bring it to DACA.
When you make a statement saying we may look different, which we do,
Okay.
and come from everywhere,
Yeah.
that's true.
Right.
But what makes us American are our ideals. What are you talking about?
The idea to live in freedom.
What freedom? Are we free? I'm sorry, we're free? Because last time I checked, white people could walk around, chill. It's us black folks that are getting questioned every single day. Okay? You could be chilling on a corner minding your own damn business and somebody roll up on you and you not even have no beef. Okay? Immigrants, they got issues too. But see, here's the problem with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay.
If it's about Black Lives Matter, then it should be about Black lives. We can't continuously incorporate every other person or every other group, because if we do that, then we're going to get lost in the sauce, because it's going to go back to your DACA. Because remember, we were all marching for, Black Lives Matter, but now the whole conversation has turned to DACA. It's a win for the Democrats. Yeah, you can't be deported. Okay, but yeah, black people still don't have anything in this country. We're still fighting for the same issues we've been fighting since the 60s. What are we talking about?
Well, this is actually, people can say whatever they want. This, as far as what Trump is saying, is a great law, what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. He wants to get rid of people who are not contributing money back into this country. Every dollar that those individuals are making going back to those foreign countries, they're running to Western Union, they're running to MoneyGram, and they're sending all that money back to that country because one American dollar is like 500 freaking pesos.
I'm sorry. So Obama also said 8 years ago this week, we protected young people who were raised as a part of our American family from deportation. Today, I'm happy for them, their families, and all of us. I'm sorry. So your families came over here. Let me understand this. Your families immigrated over here, whether it was legal or illegal. So I'm guessing because you're protected under DACA, they were illegal. So they illegally came over here.
Yeah.
To give you a better life, but maybe they came over with 1, 2, 3 kids and then ended up having 15 kids. I'm just using that as an example. Don't be upset.
So
you have all these kids and now they're protected under DACA, so they don't get deported because you came here illegally and you didn't fill out the paperwork, so you're not legal. But they are because they were born
The kids
here.
born here are legal. So if you
So the 15 that you had are legal, but the ones
Yes.
that you came over here with really aren't legal. So
Send
again,
'em back.
the whole point is you came over here illegally. So we're protecting President Obama. You're protecting people that are here illegally. Even though you had a child and that child's now considered an American because you gave birth, their parents came here illegally. So if you came here illegally and had birth and have children,
Yeah.
then if you're going to
yeah.
tell them to go and deport them, then the whole family unit's got to go. What am I not understanding about that? I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm trying to be real with you.
I got an answer to that. This is the big question that was popping up. These are the old anchor babies that they were saying. Anchor. Like drop the anchor.
Okay.
Have the baby on American soil. It's an American child.
By the way, when during the Middle Passage, they had to drop the anchor to stop the boat, so that way they could just let the slaves off. They're at the bottom of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean.
The boat was
Carry
too
on.
heavy and they just kicked them off. They
Carry
didn't even
on.
drop the anchor.
You know how it
They didn't
comes
even
full
drop the
circle.
anchor. You being too nice.
I was being nice, my
They
bad.
being
In
real
some-
nice.
In some circumstances, they dropped
Yeah.
the anchor, and some they did not
Yeah.
drop the anchor.
Yeah.
I think with Amistad, they probably did drop the anchor because remember,
He had a
while they
chance
were on
fight.
sea, they were doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
But listen, y'all did research.
So-
Go ahead, Jeff.
So these are these are the whole anchor baby terms. Once the child was born here, what they were doing is if they they didn't want to put another child into our system without a parent, so the child would go back, but it's an American citizen. So when it was legally able to come back over to America and now sponsor the parents when they get old, become old enough. My friend Frank, as we all know, has many friends like that. You get what I'm saying? And he joined the military.
Right.
He's always been here, but he joined the military to sponsor his parents.
Right.
You know, and they were illegal when he got here. So it's little tips and tricks like that they do. That the things that happen here. But they didn't want to be bad forcing the whole children over because now you have American citizens by law sitting in other countries waiting to turn 18, 19, get some pesos, come over here and then sponsor their family to come.
So why not just send the parents?
The parents were illegal.
See, I'm not
No,
going
I'm
to
saying
say
you
that.
But
send
you
the- you
needed
send
to
the
sponsor your
parents back.
parents to come back.
You send the parents back.
So who's watching the child?
put them in the system?
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and have
So
this
now
conversation
that's
with
our
y'all because
taxpayers.
it's stupid. The whole situation is stupid because, again, and it doesn't make any sense to me with the Democrats who support this. If you come here illegally, then don't you have laws and rules? And where the hell is ICE? But you want us to have sympathy for these kids that were born here because you would send them back to a country they don't know. I'm sorry, what? You would send them back to a country they don't know. But again, their parents came here illegally. So common sense would say everybody got to go. It's that simple. And then you need to change it where if you have a baby born on American soil, they are not American. Why are you telling them that they're American? They are not American. Just because you came here and had birth and you were here for 15 years and decided to have more children, you have 15 years to get your
That's-
paperwork in order.
that's
The
very
fact that you
tough.
didn't do that, I'm sorry, that's not my problem. You want me to sit here and get upset for who? Don't get mad at me because I'm putting it in your face. It's the facts. It's the laws. It's the rules. Now, you can compare that if you wanted to ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves. But again, we didn't ask to come here. But we here. We're a reminder to every American that you had a past of where you thought we were less than you. But we're about to wake up because you know why? Because we just realized what we've already known. We're powerful people. You want to keep us down here because you're scared. And listen, I'm scared of some black folks too. You know why? Because we're strong. And when we stop the BS, we're a lot stronger together. And when we finally get our stuff together, guess what? You gonna say America who? White House who? I bet you White House will turn black real quick. But let's move on. Are we still fighting for Black Lives Matter? I don't know. Because we keep saying BLM, but yet we're talking about DACA. And now we're talking about trans lives matter. So now we're saying all Black lives matter or all lives matter. I'm so confused. So let's just say this. Yes, we know all lives matter. But the reality is black people are the ones that are being killed off left and right. I'm sure you've heard that there are some black folks hanging from a tree.
No, they swept that under the news.
No, they understood it.
They
And
swept
this is
that
how
under the
far
news.
we've come and how far we haven't come. You know what I mean? So when, like I said, you need to be woke because just because you see people saying Black Lives Matter, they don't really believe that. Drew Brees, he was upset because, they're taking a knee is disrespectful to the flag and blah, 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 blah. Drew Brees have several seats. Then you want to hear and apologize because somebody called you and told you to apologize. Then you want to school, President Trump, because he done called you out. No, President Trump was right. Okay? Call me what you want because you think, what? I'm a Trump lover? No, he was right. I'm going to tell you why. If you said what you said, then you said it. What you trickling back talking about, oh, well, I was wrong, I didn't know, blah, 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 blah. This was going on while you was captain or quarterback of the Saints, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You knew what was going on. And even though people have repeatedly said it had nothing to do with the flag, you still rode that coat. Or rode that wave. So, having said that, we know where you stand because behind closed doors, you're still going to say what you're going to say. You just don't want to catch any heat like everybody else. And I totally understand that.
I don't think.
Now, all lives matter. We know that, people. But right now, the focus is black lives because guess what, white people? You get to walk outside and not fear the cops. You can say, hey, hi, Officer Bill. And Officer Bill will just look the other way. Black people can't do that. Did you see the little clip of the boy who was playing with a basketball in his own driveway and he had to hide from the cops?
That shit was deep.
Yeah, but
All
that shit's normal. I mean,
Because
it's
that
not
is
right,
something
but
that
it
It
is
was
normal.
embedded into his mental, the fact that he saw it and the first thing he thought was to hide.
Nigga, you ain't done that. And not saying that you did something wrong at the time. I've done that shit.
I was,
And-
at that age, I was
because
like, I
we're
wish
trained.
they would come
At
over.
that
We
age,
have been
too,
trained
yeah.
to believe that they're going to hurt us.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Until that goes away, it's not going to be all lives matter. But now you want to tie all lives matter to all black lives matter because you're including trans lives. And I'm against that. I was watching Fox Soul, and they were having a conversation with Claudia Jordan and the Queens, and they were talking about that all black lives matter should include trans community, where I disagree. I disagree because I feel like the trans belong in a group of gays. The LGBTQ community.
Plus.
Say that- plus.
Don't forget the plus. Look
Okay,
at you.
okay.
You killed me for the plus.
Next year will be a minus, okay? And then a question mark. But the thing is that the reason why I'm telling you all it cannot be a part of Black Lives Matter because that is a separate group in its own right. The things that go on with the gay community and the trans lives and all the injustices need to stay in that under that umbrella for a reason. That reason is it's something totally outside of black lives. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, all that should be under there. That's a whole nother group that should be protected. Nobody in that community should be harmed, hurt, or anything just because they want to have sex with whomever or they identify themselves as whatever. I have no issues with that. But see, the problem with Black Lives Matter is that we always want to open the door for everybody else. We open it for immigrants. We open it for the gay community. And what happens is that we get lost in the sauce. So the gay community, trans, they'll come up with a proposal for them. Okay? And then what happens to the black lives? They forget us until it's election time. But then they say, oh, that's right, Black Lives Matter. Okay. So hunting season's around and 10 more black people get killed and you see more murders on TV and then we have to have more protests because we didn't resolve the issues that we should have resolved. Okay? Then all of a sudden immigrants come into the play. Where they come from? I don't know. But now we're talking about DACA and we're talking about immigrant rights. And then Black Lives Matter fades into the background. So Black Lives Matter has to stay all about black lives, period. We're not focused on everybody else. And until we get what we rightfully deserve, we can't focus on everybody else. If you want to have a movement for the gay people, then that has to be separate. Because until black people get what we deserve, we can't focus on immigrants and we can't focus on gay people.
All right, let me just argue off one thing here. Oh, somebody dropped.
Segregation.
If you I'm not even going to just fight it on homosexuality, whatever, whatever it is thing there. Black Lives Matter is becoming the most smallest thing. They think we're political. Is it a political? Yes or no?
Yes, it is political.
You can't.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Black Lives Matter.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The movement is not political.
So
the organization is political.
You can't have the two cross, because every bill that we will, let's go all positivity and get passed, will not be for black people. It will never be just for black people, and that's what we want. Fuck we. That's what you're pushing out for. When you go up with the BLM movement, you thinking like all black people want to get free school, or all black people this. They're gonna say no. Every person who is non-white is going to get blank, but now you put it on the reality. Black people are shrinking in America.
Hello.
And it ain't just the cops, and it ain't us killing each other. With more education, the women aren't having more babies as they were freely. I'll give you the police brutality and slowly killing out people. The ones who are doing life sentences in jail, not being able to reproduce as much as they already have out. Did anybody do a census yet in this room?
Yeah.
I got 1. I got 0. No. Okay, check it out.
Why was it so short for me? That's why I want to know.
Either which way, if somebody said we were 13% and they rounded up, which is more like 11%.
Exactly.
People get killed not on camera all the time, and natural causes. And I can't wait to see what they blamed on COVID. We about 9%.
We already know about COVID.
They group all the Latinos, even though Latinos don't school themselves there. You Caribbean, you different than the South Americans. You laugh, but they don't like each other for some reason.
At all.
They hate each other. But they grouped them in one big thing on that census. They are growing super fast, and that's not even including the Asians. That's why it's always a DACA thing on there. That's why it's and here we go. Yeah, we got to protect these blacks, but let's put this DACA in there. And with the DACA and whatever it is, hence comes the homosexuality, because they have a large homosexuality group that is slowly outpacing us.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So once you put things in a political scope, you got to forget about the black people and go on this. And it's sad.
All right, so let's move on to this. Kelly Rowland made a post saying about trans lives matter. Thank you, Truth. Let's be very clear. You cannot say Black Lives Matter and those lives not include trans. We must protect each other. And for those of you who do not know about the countless murders that have happened to trans lives, I really need you to wake up. Educate yourself. It is just evil what kind of violence happens because of hate. In advance, to the families of these lives, I am so sorry, and will continue prayer and fight the fight so that love will win through it all. And to the kids who are afraid to show who you truly are, don't be. You have folks out here who are waiting and fighting for you, with you. Show yourself, your most authentic self.
She about to drop a new album.
Yeah, seriously.
So here's the thing. One, with the kids, I don't play when it comes to kids.
Facts.
I am upset when parents exploit their kids. This is why I go hard on Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Because at the end of the day, your son is a child. I shouldn't even know that your son is having gay struggles or identifies as gay or whatever
should be
it
private.
is you want
Like
to call
saying,
it.
it should be in the household.
And I'm not saying that you have to hide it from people, but because he's a child that you are sexualizing for predators, pay attention. Yeah, I have a problem with that as a parent. Okay, if my kid came to me and I noticed some things about my kid that might, fall on the side of he might be gay,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to exploit him and have him in crop tops or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, when you're 18 years old, you can do whatever the hell you want to. But it's my obligation and duty to protect you at all costs. Even if I'm a celebrity, I'm not going to post my child out there like that for the whole world to see. No. You have predators. Be a parent. You don't sit there. I feel like you're just exploiting to make money or to make yourselves even more known. That's not right. And then you want to sit here and say that we need to educate ourselves. That's why in every political campaign, look at Biden. He has a whole section for LGBTQ plus. What am I missing? We cannot have black trans involved with Black Lives Matter because at the end of the day, those are two different subjects. I'm not looking if you identify as gay, I don't think you identify as black first. That's just my opinion. I think you identify yourself as gay.
But that's impossible. Because the first thing I see, if you're not looking crazy flamboyant, there go a nigga in the car.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And then it's like, that's a nigga with fingernails.
Do they think of themselves as black first, or do they think of themselves as gay first?
I think a good amount of them do. No. And I think a good amount of them realize that he said no. But I think a good amount realize whatever their race is before that. I think they understand that their race may not fuck with them on their level. You know what I mean? Like all black men don't want to be around a flamboyant homosexual.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I worked in Wall Street area.
Right.
On Wall Street, and where the location I worked, I'm not even lying, 85% of the workers were gay, homosexual, and they considered themselves their preference before their culture. And that's being around. I'm talking about, like, at that time, I was uncomfortable, and I didn't even want to tie my shoelaces or anything like that or whatever.
Right.
Because you got to bend over. But it's just more lines of, like, that's how they look at themselves as being their, sexual preference first.
So when they get their nigga wake-up call, as I'll call it here, from the
like,
cops,
they
think they getting their ass beat because they're gay instead of black?
That's all.
Or not
Tiger
a two-foot?
Woods had to find that. Michael Jackson. You all get that nigga moment. But they don't consider themselves that until they get into that situation.
And this is why Truth is who he is. So we're going to move on to some other things that are in the news real quick. We have Kim Kardashian West, signed a deal with Spotify for a criminal justice podcast to explore the themes of wrongful conviction and criminal justice reform. So pretty much, she's pretty much going to be talking like this and basically letting you all know that the injustices in this country is unfathomable. And she is going to do everything that she can to make sure that you are all woke, because she is Armenian, but she's married to a black man, and this is now her purpose in life. Her father, may he rest in peace, was an attorney and a brilliant attorney. He got OJ off on murder. That is amazing. And she's going to follow in his footsteps. Now, she probably thought that Rob would be the one to follow in their father's footsteps. However, he didn't. He went the route of Black China. So she's taking on that responsibility. That's why she's going to law school with attorneys, and she's going to pass the bar, and she will become an attorney to help free our black people and other minorities out of prison. Along with that, she'll probably get paid a lot of money. I'm interested to know if that pay will go towards her pockets or if it will go to a fund to help people start their lives over when they're released from jail.
Really?
You already know what that means.
Exactly. That's your God.
This is the same family that put people's faces on T-shirts and kept the money till somebody said so.
Exactly.
Also, we should note that Trump is holding his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you've been paying attention to the press briefings with Kaylee, basically, the press were upset because, you have people. I can't keep this going.
Yeah, I was like, I was about to cut you. You're really annoying my fucking.
All right, so that's how that podcast is gonna go. But no, so the press keeps egging on, trying to say, how are people going to be safe and all this other stuff? What precautions is the president going to take? They even asked Kaylee if she was going to wear a mask, and she said it's her decision. She's not going to wear a mask. They're going to follow the CDC guidelines. I'm trying to figure out what part don't the media understand. They're going to follow the CDC guidelines. Everybody assumes a risk when it goes to these types of events. If you can protest, you can go to a damn rally. Okay? Calm the hell down, folks. Now, these people are going to go to a rally. They will have their temperatures checked. They will have sanitizer, and masks will be given. Wear it if you want to. All right? It's your decision. The CDC guidelines. The media doesn't care about the CDC guidelines. They don't even like that answer. I'm starting to think they just want direct answers. Like, if the question is, are you taking the precautions? They want Kaylee to say, yes, we're taking the precautions. Because Kaylee saying we're following CDC guidelines isn't enough, even though it's the same damn answer. It's not enough. But he's having his rally. For those that are out there, have fun. Enjoy yourselves. You know why? Because he's a Republican and he's your president. And you all voted for him and you're going to vote for him. That's just like if the Democrats had their convention, I would say the same damn thing. Have fun. You deserve to. You paid the tickets. Go ahead. But would they say that about the Democrats if Biden was hosting a rally? But do you think he'd have a rally someplace, or would he have it in his basement? I'm confused. No,
Shots.
too soon? Okay.
Shots.
Let's see. Governor of Colorado signed SB 217 into law, making Colorado the first state in the country to end qualified immunity as part of this historic comprehensive police accountability bill, which is absolutely amazing because, cops get immunity from families suing them for wrongful death.
As long as it was found in the scope of the job. Yep.
Well, this is the argument. So the White House doesn't want that because they feel like you still have to have due process and prove it.
Yes.
So, because at this point, even though with everything going on with Black Lives Matter, we have the potential for people to be a little bit ridiculous and outrageous. And we don't want to eliminate it altogether because, let's think about it. Somebody who has a career as a police officer can get accused of something that they really didn't do. And then their whole career is shot based off of a lie. But then again, Emmett Till. Okay. If you don't know Emmett Till, then look that up. Do your research, right? Just want to point that out. White woman claimed that he did what?
Whistle.
Whistled at a woman. There you go.
And then he was killed, yet she's still alive. Okay.
Did she recant on her deathbed?
Oh, she did?
I remember. Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Emmett Till, anybody? Since we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and then we're talking about defunding the police, wanted to shine a light on two people who lost their lives, and they happen to be black. We want to say rest in peace to Julian King Jr. He's a Florida wildlife conservation officer.
Okay.
Age 30, shot dead. There are 3 currently in custody of his murder. Then, nice looking man right there.
She want to give him some. You heard it?
But hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we have Officer Breanne Leith, killed in the line of duty, April 9th, 2020. Beautiful young lady. But we don't hear about these things, but yeah, all Black lives matter. But yeah, we're not over here highlighting this and giving our support to the families of these 2 black people
How did they
who
die?
paid the price.
How did they die?
Oh.
Like, were they assassanated? Were they, you know what I mean? Were they in their car?
Julian
like
was,
how the
they
New
both
York
were
cops?
shot. They were killed on duty. Julian, he was killed, shot dead. But 3 people were in custody, like I said. Breanne, she was killed in the line of duty.
So, like, while they were serving a warrant, well, I don't know, whatever the hell they were doing.
Doesn't matter.
They were
She was
working.
killed.
Yeah,
It
We
does
don't
matter.
hear that.
It does matter because the only reason we go after the Floyds and the what's like that is the way they died. If they had took George Floyd back and gave him the old
But I
Negro
think
treatment
the purpose
and
of
we
me-
didn't know about it, we'd be like, all right,
But
see ya.
here's the thing. The purpose of me mentioning them is that we're talking about police officers and defunding the police, but at the same time, you got to recognize we're talking about Black Lives Matter.
BLM does not represent any black person who is an officer. You are now a blue life. You are no longer black.
Oh,
and that's the
shit.
thing. You blues and blacks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And please hashtag that and go
Oh.
search it. And that's why, hold up. This is why I asked you, do you think BLM can do anything political? You can't have this stance as a political
Excuse me.
stance. That's
So
our
I
point.
guess-
Everything you're going to get is going to be for everybody.
So
BLM
I guess
does
all
not
black
represent
lives
there.
don't matter then, because clearly your blue lives don't matter, especially if they're
Blue
black.
yes.
I don't have nothing. I don't have.
You are
nothing.
no longer
I need
black.
Sound effects.
You no
I
longer-
need sound
Blue,
effects. True.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's all.
Well then, shoot. Let me slap
I'm
myself
just
3
saying.
times.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. So I mean, Jeff came through with the 1-2 punch. Y'all missed it. So
Look.
basically, all lives. I'm sorry. I keep saying that. All black lives really don't matter if you're black and you're a cop and you serve the blue side. Okay. So what are we talking about? All right, let's move on. So, Cobra Couture. How do you say her name? I just like saying it that way, but that's not how you say her name.
I was like, who? I was like, Cobra Commander? What the
How
fuck
do
are
you
you trying to
say
say?
Clover-
Klobuchar. Yeah, something.
Okay, Klobuchar
Klobuchar, yeah.
withdrew
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Biden's VP selection to make room for a woman of color. Lady, I need for you to come here. So Biden, maybe you stayed in the race because you thought Biden, like we all do, think he's losing it. But he did say publicly that he was going to pick a woman of color for VP. The fact that you even was still in a race for VP speaks volumes. So you think you're doing us a favor by dropping out?
She know what she doing.
I was just about to say.
She waiting for that governor from the tri-state.
She going to 2024. Well, let's take
That's
this. Cuomo.
exactly what
let's
she
take,
waiting
Let's take
for.
this for Cuomo.
She said, "I ain't gonna take this L with him.
You
I'm gonna
right.
go ahead and
You right.
hook my train on that winning train because his popularity is ridiculous right now.
Yo.
She's very intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay, Chloe.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2024.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is we're going to give the L to the Democrats, and Trump will get
Absolutely.
his next 4 years, and then it's going to really heat up. But see, here's the thing: if that's what happens,
Uh-huh.
and then after Trump's last 4 years,
Uh-huh.
what I'm asking the Democrats to do, and then this is when I'll ask Cuomo to spearhead. I don't need 15 people running for president. If Cuomo's going to run in 2024, then I just need for everybody to rally around Cuomo. I don't need the BS. No. Listen. It doesn't have to be
Go ahead,
Cuomo. This is my example.
I'm with you.
No, you're
I
right.
need for Cuomo to step up and say, we're not doing all that. If it's just me, it's just me. That is the end of that conversation. I don't need 15 other people because it's a waste of our time.
Well, you wouldn't
And all
have
you
that
do
with
is
him.
split the votes.
Right.
It was the Democrats really didn't have anybody to put out there, so you had to put 1,500 people together and let the best man.
I'm gonna keep it funky. We all forgetting the main thing. Let's say Trump takes another 4 years.
We already know that's gonna happen.
Let's say he takes another 4 years. Any fucking Republican is gonna look good.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody, because Trump has set the bar so low. You get what I'm saying? Anybody's like,
Do you
yeah,
think he set the bar low?
he has because
you sure?
there's no professionalism in anything he's done. I'm
Are
not
you
saying
sure?
I'm positive.
I still say to this
Positive.
day, and I'm going to stand by my claim, that I think he's got an ace up his sleeve, and he's keeping it. If you ever watch him, that man's got an ace. I just don't know what that ace is. If I was a fly in the room, I would know what the ace is. But that man's got an ace, and he's just waiting for that ace to be revealed.
He doesn't have to.
That's going to change everything.
Did you see Biden's last commercial where he fumbled the word?
Bro.
And then the caption put the
So
right
then
word?
Let me ask you this,
Biden
Drew.
is not the pick.
Okay,
Go
let
ahead.
me pose this to
Go
you
ahead, go ahead.
guys. So say the agenda is this. The agenda is to put Biden in front of us. Because, the Democrats, especially black Democrats, don't care who the Democrats put as long as Trump is out because everybody wants Trump out.
That's the rule.
But we all know that Biden is suffering from something. And I think when his son died, I think that's when it triggered.
Okay.
So my heart goes out to him because that was a lot. You lost your wife. You lost your son. It's a lot. All right. But then we didn't really know how he was until he started speaking. So then that plays a role into it, too, because he was a VP for 8 years. And he was a silent VP, but now we know why. So say he said, I'm going to pick a VP, woman of color. Now we're shopping for a woman of color to be VP. What if the setup is we need to push him through because once he's through, What's the amendment to vote to fire the president?
The amendment to fire the president?
Yes, they
Talking
would
about the
have to
veto?
sign, including the VP, to remove the president from office.
I don't know.
Oh,
Is it the 45th?
I'm not sure.
could be.
There's an amendment to do that.
Yeah, okay.
They would invoke this amendment, and then that VP woman of color becomes president of the United States. How much? Because remember, a lot of these Democrats are edging
25th
on
Amendment.
and encouraging a woman of color. How much you want to bet that's the plan of the Democratic
That
Party?
ain't the plan.
It's the 25th Amendment.
I'm sorry, the 25th. I said 45.
Yeah.
25th
He was in the
Amendment.
5. He was in the Division 5. Don't worry
You
about
had the 5 right.
Yeah,
had the
you had
five.
it.
Okay, so that's the 25th Amendment.
I
So
mean,
they
that would
invoke
be
that.
would be genius, but at the end of the day, like I don't think Trump has to do anything because Biden's doing it for him.
it. Yes.
But you got to understand the hatred of Trump. Like, they are
Oh, they-
rallying.
No, that is every
No,
sign that
yeah.
I saw people putting out. It said boot Trump. It didn't say anything about the person running. It was just boot Trump.
Speak on it.
But at
that's
the end
it.
of the day, that's he doesn't have to do anything. You don't have any kind of thing to say really bad.
I wanted to say this real quick. Even if Biden takes this, he ain't going to do 8 years. Because
Ain't gonna do
they're going
two.
to have a new Democrat right for him. Like, hey, here, new person. And did he say person of color? Or did he say a black woman?
I don't know what he said.
Because if he said person of color, that just means
He
non-white.
probably said a
And he's
black
going to get a
woman.
Hispanic. I was like, because if that's what they're gaming him up for, ain't nobody
I
going
already
to
know
take
who
it good for
he
that.
gonna pick Candace. That's who he gonna pick.
Yo,
Okay, since
that
you
should
brought up
be hot.
Candace.
That should be hot.
Okay, since you brought up Candace, Candace is getting a lot of backlash from Candace Owens is getting a lot of backlash from a lot of black people.
Okay.
Fox Soul has a show, starring Mike Hill and this other guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a panel of people on, a couple comedians, and they were making fun of her. And here's my issue. I feel like if Black Lives Matter, then we need to stop with the harassing of other black people. I think we need to stop calling each other names. What is the point of us calling each other names and saying Black Lives Matter? We look like hypocrites. So you don't like what Candace says. So then in love, then you need to have a conversation with Candace. You don't need to talk about her hair. You don't need to talk about anything about her looks and who she chose to marry. That's none of your business. If you don't like her policies, then have a conversation. You don't need to cancel Candace because you don't like the things that she stands for. Okay? She's more woke and intelligent than a lot of these people given their commentary. Let's keep that 100.
Well,
You're all sitting
she's
here
book educated.
still asleep
She's not
voting
she's
for
not,
Biden.
She's not life educated. She's book educated.
So what?
And yes, and we know about
but
book
it just
versus
it
life.
go back to what we were talking about a second ago. Trump doesn't have to do anything because we're doing it for him.
Yeah.
We're saying all, like you said, all Black Lives Matter, but we're sitting here throwing jabs and uppercuts at a black woman.
See, but Black Lives Matter is it's just a vague definition. Because we make fun of people. That don't mean we don't want the best for them.
No one wants the
No,
best for
but
Candace.
nobody wants the best for Candace.
No,
That's
in
because that's because she's went out and denounced a lot of the stuff that people want to see.
That's because she has something to say about the killing of George Floyd.
But even before that, she's saying the first go around.
Right.
She didn't
It's been
she
on
didn't go
principle.
that hard. She's always was steering towards a certain way. She's a darker Dash, whatever that chick name
Yeah,
is.
Stacey Dash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stacey Dash, but she's more educated. But
Yeah.
she didn't
I still
she
love
never
Stacey.
crossed the line like she did with Floyd. That crossed the line.
But that's
I
what we
get
were
you.
supposed to, as a black community, instead of bashing her, we were supposed to hold her hand and say, let's have a conversation, sis, and get an understanding as to why she thought the way that she did. But then again, if you're mad at her for what she said, why are you not mad at Chicago and our black folks who keep killing each other left and right every single day? Why is it
do you know what
pick
that
to choose-
budget is like?
How?
Yo,
They're not getting rid of that budget.
that
They
shit,
get
yeah.
like $400 million a week.
Well,
out
anyway,
there.
Yeah.
they want to replace Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima because apparently they just learned their history about how these two brands came about. And since we're talking about removing history, we want to remove statutes. Listen,
Uh-huh.
there's a thing. It's either you want to change history, which you can't change, or you want to remove history, which you can, but you really can't. There's some things that you can't remove. I mean, yes, a lot of things were founded on slavery. Are we, Kaylee, press conference said the same thing. If you want to start removing and renaming buildings, don't you want to rename the Biden Center? Or y'all gonna sit here and act stupid on that? But
No,
you don't
you-
want to, right?
You're
It's good
absolutely-
for when it's good.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing: here's my thing. You're right. Either take them all down or pull them all up. And I don't care. I'm a bash Jews this civic. Let's put up all the let's put up some concentration camp statues. See how they like that.
I feel you.
Well, I'm thinking is if you're gonna take them all
thing.
away, you know what I'm saying? Like if something's offensive to a
group,
culture,
right.
then if you want to respect that culture, yes, take it down.
So was it bad? Do we feel bad that the Native Americans wanted to take down the Christopher Columbus one?
It's
Because
not
that was them. No, they were the main force, and that's what Cuomo was like. Ew, don't fuck with my people.
It's part of their Italian American history, culture.
Right. But
yet pay attention to what he just said. So if that's the case, then this is the same guy that you want running for president in 2024.
Oh, he's gonna win.
Pay
but
attention to that.
It's just more lines of it's always do what I say, not what I do.
Of course.
And that's how politics has always been.
We haven't spoken about COVID-19 in a minute. I thought this was interesting. NBA players that are playing in Disney are going to be given smart rings. These smart rings will identify COVID-19 symptoms up to 3 days in advance with 90% accuracy.
And how come everybody else don't have it?
That's why you're here.
Because ain't nobody paying for it. Medicaid ain't paying for that shit.
Why is it okay for them?
What do
and
we
not
always
okay for
talk
everybody
about
else?
on this show? If it ain't gonna be profitable, they don't want no parts of it.
It's called the Aurora Smart Ring. It
Sound like
also
it's made by
measures
Apple.
your body temperature and respiratory functions and heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I think everybody needs to wake up.
Well, they're gonna start giving it to all the players. I mean, right now you can't even imagine how much money's being lost from the NBA for not even when they do restart, not being able to have fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Baseball,
football.
Okay, well, here's Kyrie Irving, who proposed players starting their own league in call.
That's smart.
In a call urging boycott of NBA season. First of all, Kyrie, where were you when your brother from another sports took a knee and he was backlashed and he was sidelined, when you had ample time to make a movement, make a statement? You're doing it on the backs of other protesters with the Black Lives Matter movement because it's the right thing to do. Is this something that's in your heart, or you're just riding a wave?
No, he want to make sure he can pay the mortgage.
Okay.
That's what it is.
He want to make sure he can continue to pay
you got to
that
remember when Cap was kneeling, the NBA put out that shit that, we not doing. Remember, they started cutting the people doing it, and then they automatically started writing those guys up in there.
That's
in their contract.
In the NBA contract.
Exactly.
And that came about because of Chris Tucker. I know you changed your name. I apologize, homie. But he started doing the prayer thing.
Okay.
He would do the prayer and they allowed that. But that's actually an NBA contract.
Yeah.
All right. Officer Brett Hankinson was fired for killing Breonna Taylor. Did we forget about her? Apparently so. Her murderers are still free, except for this one got fired. But we're still waiting for him to be arrested because it was murder. But I guess because they used a no-knock warrant and now we have a law passed saying you can't do that anymore, well, then that's equivalent to justice. Are we still fighting for her?
Yeah.
Or did that all stop?
No, all right. Her situation is very unique, and we talked about this
everywhere.
before.
They took it off. Hold up, wait, before you do that. When you ask questioning, this is how I said before, media controls our life. They still send out quotes. They still run out in Brooklyn. They still do that. Yeah. They're still protesting.
Oh, that's because Beyonce wrote.
No, they were doing this before.
Nah,
Beyonce.
they've been doing it.
They've been doing it.
Yeah,
Brianna.
they still rocking.
Brianna has not been
I just want
forgotten.
to say that I don't think
her
Beyonce
situation
wrote
is
that,
very
but okay.
unique because the police were doing a warrant. So what they're trying to do is trying to figure a way that they can charge the police with something.
And you got to remember,
that's where it's always coming, because the sergeant didn't get charged.
Yes,
but this guy did.
Right.
But the sergeant is the one who got shot.
Right.
So it's a lot of whistling, but this young lady has not been forgotten.
When they cancel the law, or when they change the law, it's from that day that they pass it onward.
All right. So California Assembly passed the African American reparation bill. We will discuss that more next week. But I want to get into real quick because we're running out of time. A quote from Oprah Winfrey. You can't move forward until you address the pain you caused. This is from her 2-part series of Where Do We Go From Here on OWN, and all the Discovery platforms that showed, and including YouTube. Why do I bring this up? Do you remember that issue between Oprah and Monique, the comedian actress, and how, hey Mo, Auntie Mo.
Hey, I like her.
So here's the thing. People want to know why Monique keeps bringing this up. And it was on her open relationship podcast where she was discussing this with her husband. And why they brought this up is because of that quote that Oprah said. You can't move forward until you address the pain you caused. So what does that mean? So what happened was Monique was black. What's it called?
Blacklisted.
Thank you. Blacklisted. And it was because she refused to promote Precious and not get paid for it. So what happened was she was doing all this promotion for Precious. Then they asked her, can you go overseas? Well, Monique is a mother, and she's a wife. And she said, well, am I getting paid? Because her obligations were the United States, not overseas. They said no. And she said, but other actresses get paid to promote overseas.
Facts.
Yeah.
So why can't she get paid?
Facts.
And so they said no. And she was like, well, I'm not going to do it. So y'all got mad. Were you mad because Monique said no? Or were you mad because Monique told y'all to kiss off? Because you wasn't expecting her to be that smart and realize that y'all was taking her for granted. Because the movie actually got traction when she promoted it. Nobody was checking for Precious. That wasn't a movie that people were interested in. She earned that Oscar because Monique transformed herself from a comedian to this amazing actress. That she was an actress, but she became something else. That's that level that you reach when you surpass what you could have done. And no longer did I see the comedian. I saw an actress. And I said, damn, if I see that bitch on the street, I ain't fucking with her. Pardon my French, but that's how I felt.
Okay.
Because Monique was somebody different. I didn't know who the hell she was. But she blacklisted her. But Black Lives Matter, right? We having a whole conversation about it. You have a whole quote. You can't move forward until you address the pain that you caused. Oprah, you're part of the problem. You did that to another black woman. You did that to another sister. So how is it that Black lives or all Black lives matter? Because clearly it doesn't when you do this to your own kind. Okay? Because you up there in your mansion with all your money. I don't see you really doing that much unless if you're doing it in silence. Listen, people do things behind closed doors that we don't know about, but I don't see anybody in this studio receiving the benefits of it. I mean, you went in all the way to Newark to visit a high school because they had a program for the high school for kids who don't have any place to go on Fridays. Yeah, remember that? You came to Newark with your people and you made a big spectacle of it. Miss, you were a damn near billionaire and gave them how much? $500,000.
It's a good tax write-off.
And I'm thinking to myself, but chick, you a billionaire.
Shaq gave way more than that.
So all you could fit to give was $500,000? You know you can't take that when you die, right? Like, you know your money does not come with you in death. But I'm thinking to myself, this would have been a prime opportunity for Oprah to put her name on something amazing and turn what that program was into something way bigger. And all you could see fit was just, oh, this is such a great idea. They could do their laundry. They could do this. These poor little black kids in the hood. I'm going to give you $500,000 to help you with your movement. And I'm thinking to myself, but it's Oprah. I would think Oprah could give more than that. Like, if I was Oprah, I would have been like, bump that. I'm going to take that plan that you have, and I'm going to 10 times that. We about to do something on a larger scale. But that's all you can give, son?
Oh,
that's like how many pizzas? Anyways.
How
So
many
moving
feet?
forward, I haven't seen you really speak about Monique. And then here comes people talking about the reason why Monique is shunned is because look at what she did, or why she doesn't have any friends is look at what she did to Tyler Perry. Oh, you mean because on on Monique's open marriage podcast, she called, what's his name?
Tyler Perry.
Thank you. all Tyler Perry. And she recorded him. Okay? Open relationship, whatever it's called. She recorded him.
Yes.
And people were upset because it's like, if you're my friend, Jeff, why am I recording you?
Right. A
Okay,
private conversation.
But see, here's the thing. Because when people lie, you kind of have to record them. If you know that they're not going to really defend you, you got to have proof. And if they were good friends and he knew what they were doing to her, as powerful as Tyler is, why didn't he speak up? What kind of a friend are you? So she recorded you. And we all heard that basically, she was being shunned. She's being blacklisted, blackballed. Okay, so as a friend, what was you doing about it? Oh, you offered her money. You claim that you gave her more money than anybody. Also, I'm sorry, Tyler. I understand that you have power in Hollywood, Black Hollywood. I understand that you have all this money that we help you get because we promoted your films and everything. So you didn't get there by yourself. You had help. You had us, the fans. But when your sister was down and out, you couldn't help her because you thought that she should promote a movie for free and I could pay for it. All of us in this room know damn well if you want us to promote something, you better be paying. White people say it all the time. What, you ain't paying me? I ain't doing it. So why is it okay for a white person, but it wasn't okay for Monique? Why? Because she was fat and loud?
Jesus.
She ain't fat no more. But why was it okay? What kind of a friend are you? Monique, Auntie Mo, don't be calling him your friend because he was never your friend to begin with. You served a purpose and they were done with you. So if all Black Lives Matter, then her life matters too, right? Because she has a family to feed, but y'all blocked her. But that's okay because you all claim that you love God so much, you Christians, and it's all holier than thou.
He gave her a check.
But then I wonder when you get to the pearly gates, what's Jesus going to ask you? They're going to bring this situation back up, right? Whenever there was a time to rectify a situation, look at Steve Harvey. You had Monique on your show, and you used that just to elevate yourself. It wasn't a healing moment. You did that to elevate yourself and try to embarrass her. But you look foolish.
He's been a coon since days.
You look foolish because you ended up losing your jobs, except for Family Feud. They didn't want no parts of you. They didn't want to tell her it's a money thing. Excuse me? She was asking for money. You asked her to do a job that she wasn't going to pay her for. She has a family. She had every right to ask that. But Oprah, where do we go from here? When are you going to step off your soapbox and actually admit to the wrongdoings that you've done?
Never.
What happens in the dark comes to light. Remember that. You all can't hide forever. Now, I'm being very respectful. I used to like you, Oprah, but then the blinders came off and I became woke. And I realized you ain't really about us. You about yourself and elevating yourself. Again, Epstein, he's coming on. I ain't see you say nothing about Epstein.
Fuck him. Sorry.
We all saw that. You over here, well, what's the other one?
Weinstein.
Weinstein,
Harvey.
he your BFF. You ain't saying nothing about him. So I guess white matters. White lives matter. If you're Oprah Winfrey and you're the elite black people, right? Because clearly not all black lives matter. Thank you for watching. Until next time.